Hey guys, Anthony, 4B4Ds. I'll give you a quick story on this one before we get started. At approximately, I should get my numbers spot on, at about 100,000, 120, somewhere around there. A few years ago, back in, I don't know, 2014 or 15, somewhere there, this engine got its injectors replaced with some Bailey's injectors. Now, we're trying not to talk about those too much because we only like to stay positive as much as possible. You know, I know sometimes we've got to carry on a bit and show you some things, but you know, it's just how it is. We've got to tell you about these things so you can avoid it. So I suppose that's why we've got to tell you some of these things. So I don't know, for those people that don't know, at one point in time there was a aftermarket product. There was some brass washers. Brass isn't a gasket, okay? Brass doesn't work as a gasket, it's too hard. And that was included being supplied with some Bailey's injectors in 2014 and 15. We know a fair bit about it because we got caught out with that as well. We used to have either brand new, genuine, or Bailey's as an option for injectors. We didn't, you know, try and convince anyone either way. It was your choice. We just pointed out the pros and cons. A lot of people went for those Bailey's injectors anyway. We stopped using them, we got them all out. Long story short, wasn't as many problems with injectors as there was with the actual seats, the seating washer issue. Anyway, this vehicle experienced that. It was, you know, blow by. Anyway, long story short, they pulled the injectors out again. They reseated them. So we're about to find out how much of a good job they did in redoing the job. Now, one of the first things we note, there's quite a bit of oil on the map filter here, so I wanted to show you that. Trying to demonstrate, we're not just trying to tell you, you know, to replace things for the hell of it. A couple of things. This little map filter, it filters what's in that vacuum line, right? Because it goes up to this sensor, right? The map sensor, manifold absolute pressure. Am I saying the right thing? Because I always get this wrong. MAF and map and this and that. I know what's what, but I'm sort of on autopilot. And you would have picked it up a lot of times where I go, it'll be right there in front of you. I'll be going, that's a 17mm, and you can see me using the 19mm span. It happens all the time. Anyway, the main thing is you can see what's what, and sometimes in another video I correct it, but we don't edit it and take it out and change it and all that. It's the reality channel, what it is. And reality is, not only do those little filters get blocked up, you can clean them a little bit, but they don't clean up. It's like any other filter. They don't generally clean up like new. It's worth replacing this one here every probably 3 or 4 years. I'd recommend, if you haven't got too much EGR flowing. If you've got EGR flowing, you might want to just change it every year. They're about 50 or 60 bucks. They're not cheap. And the other thing that happens is they crack and then all the oil leaks everywhere, right? Is what's going on here. So part of injector replacement jobs, that's something we do. That's all included. It's just an automatic thing we do. But what did I actually come here to tell you about? So yeah, the injectors. So we're going to see how much of a good or bad job they did. I don't know if they replaced the fuel pipes, and I don't know if there's clamps missing. Oh, you can see that one's there, up there in the middle there. It looks a bit squashed, but we'll get a bit more. It's got the short suction control valve, so we might replace that as part of this job as well. I'm pretty sure. Just have to check a few things with the client, see exactly what he wants to do, and bada bing, bada boom. So we'll get the vehicle apart and we'll have a look and see what we've got to show you. I thought we might as well have a look at the wall of fame, a few of the sets of Bailey's injectors that we had back and the washers. And it results in a blocked oil pickup, which looks like that. You've seen before if you're watching our information. And as I've written up there, brass too hard. Let's have a good look at that, right? Let's have a good look. Can you see what's going on there? You should be able to see that, right? Brass. What does it say there? Brass is too hard. Brass is intrinsically harder than copper, right? If I can say the word right. See what's happened? Even though there's had the 22 Newton meters on the torque wrench, you can see the arrows and the lines that I've drawn in there. You can see from about, I don't know, 8:30 through to about 4 o'clock has made contact, and the rest of the way the bottom half hasn't even made contact to crush and seal. And I've explained this in a number of videos. Check out the injector information playlists, right? Basically it's either lucky or unlucky. So that one was unlucky, the other 3 in that engine were lucky, right? So brass is still too hard, but you're just lucky that the surface imperfection of the bottom of the injector here and where it goes into the head, whether it's really true or not, you know. So here you got the next set. Top one lucky, second one lucky. You can see the same situation going on right there, right? Not as bad, it's not as black, but you can see the contact area where I've drawn the lines in there for you. Okay, now next one. There's only one in the picture, but you can see a similar pattern. See the bottom half has got the, or a bit over half has got the contact area, and the top's got not too much. You can see what happens, you know, the seat starts leaking, and that almost welds the injectors in, but eventually the O-ring blows out and then the oil comes down from the oil gallery, actually making it a bit easier to get these ones out than it is to get injectors like these out, because it's very dry, almost like welded in. You can see this one over here, similar situation again. These are all different sets of Bailey's injectors that were found to have brass washers, and there was more. Anyway, we're not going to go into the details of the DLC coating that wears off and things like that in this video. Of course, that would have been a one-off, even though there's at least two. You can see that one is that one. All right, I can confirm that is. But there's plenty more, and we've got boxes with the evidence here, should it ever be needed. Facts is what it is, absolute facts. So one of the reasons we only use brand new, genuine injectors, and we're not going to see any of this mess, I don't think, because somebody else got to deal with it, luckily, because I was sick of dealing with it years ago. Genuine washers is the way to go. They are copper. And I reckon we've seen a few of these over the years to know what is going on with whether it's brass or copper, or we run out of bench. That's a 1.5 metre bench. But anyway, look, you can see the old ones. Just thought we'd go into a bit of detail again, because people are asking questions. They've missed the older videos. That's why it's important to go back and watch all the older information. But there's a myriad of problems here, right? There's a whole heap of problems here. Let's have a look at some of the different problems. Well, the original seating washers were copper, like that, okay? And then in production, by the first month 2008, they had these washers that were still copper, but they've got a coating over them. Helps them last a little bit longer. My estimation, adds about 20% to their life. But then, if you keep digging through here, you can see some washers that were actually, I think this one might even be brass as well, but some of them, see how it's got the different colour on the outside, like this one? It's a different type of coating on the outside, and it makes it go black. Now I'm going to fish a few brass, we've got some brass ones kept separately, but out of this pile, I reckon if we look through here, I'm not looking too hard at the moment, I'm just showing you what's around at the moment. There's a lot of washers here, but easily enough we can pick out some brass ones, right? And you can see for yourself what happens. Let's turn it over. All right, that one doesn't look too bad. I'm not sure if that one was leaking or not, but it would be one of many. Okay, so let's start having a bit of a fish. There's another brass one there. Oh, there it is. Have a bit of a look around. We'll find a few more. You're probably seeing them going, you missed one, because I am. And this, it even gets more interesting, right? Here you go. Here's one of pre-ground from previous videos and information before. Look at that. It looks like copper because it's copper colour on the outside. All right, have a good look at that. All right, looks like copper, but you can see it's brass. See the colour on the inside? Just bizarre what these companies are doing, these manufacturers, right? And I'm not saying it only come from one place. I'm just saying there was a lot of people that had problems, and a lot of people don't even understand the problems they had. And where, there's another one, right? See what I mean about the coating that they use as well? It makes it go black, right? So some of the worst ones, they're also, I've got another wall of fame up here. We've got about another 5 or 6, 7 sets on another thing on the wall. We might get to that, but I don't want to bore you too much with the boring details. I'm just trying to fish out. Look, some of the other big problems you can see is people that redo the job and see all the black stuff on the seats, even though they've used the right ones, right? No shortage of people that can't do jobs properly, you know, not cleaning the seating area, right? They should come off clean like that. See the seating area? Basically spotlessly clean. Don't worry about the inside part that's tapered, right? I'm talking about the seating area, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the 2.5 millimeters from that edge of my fingernail there to that edge there, right? Don't worry about the other part. We're just having a look at a whole heap here now. And it's getting pretty boring, isn't it? But then you just pick out another one that I've ground down so you can have a look what's going on. They've got the coating over them. They've got a shiny finish. And look, you know, you don't want to be alarmed or anything, but this is a problem from back in 2014-15. I'm fairly sure, going by memory, that I discovered the brass washers on the 20th of May 2016. And by about the 24th of May, I believe the main company that was using those washers on their injectors stopped using them and started using genuine. But I could be wrong, because later that year, somebody contacted me with this issue, a diesel fitter with less than 10,000 Ks on a set of injectors, and he had problems. It was 9,000 Ks. He sent me I got all the evidence there. I got the photos and everything. And that was late 16. So there's a chance that some of these copper washers were still being supplied. Also from other suppliers. There's a few weird different combinations going on, as you can see. This is why I say just buy the injectors from me. Then you know what you get. Not just the injectors, the seats. I know these products really well. Anyway, let's save the rest of my breath and energy for pulling this vehicle apart to see what we can find. Because we can easily keep fishing brass washers out of this kit. A lot of them got returned because people were doing a lot of warranty claims and stuff like that. They wanted them back, and that's fair enough. If I was providing product and I wanted, if I was doing warranty claims, I'd want the product back as well. Look at that. So you can see we ground it to show that it's brass, but you can see the area directly from this side to the top that was seating, and this area down here never even made contact. Let's turn it over. Right, you can see the same thing there. Hope you're finding this interesting. If you are, remember that like button, subscribe, bell on, bada bing. Let's have a look around at these injectors and see how well this place cleaned up when they replace the injector seats again for a second time. So I'll give you a little bit more information here. We've got a few of these on the wall. But these are the things you've got to be aware of that could be fitted into a vehicle that you purchase, right? So you can see that one there, same thing as we've been demonstrating. Brass too hard, the contact area. You can see from 11 through to about 4, there's no contact. Okay, so that was the unlucky one. The other ones were lucky for Paul, right, with his Hilux. One was unlucky. Okay, over here, whatever, anyway. So this one over here, look at this. This was the first one. Right, this is Wayne's vehicle, fitted on the 1st, 2015. And by, when was it? Yeah, look, you know, I have to go and check the paperwork for that. It's not all written here, but it was 2016 it was. Yeah, 20th of the 5th, 16. You can read that there. Yeah, that's where we discovered the problem. It kind of happened by accident. See, look at the way that seat is just not seating, and the compression was blowing through there. These 3 were lucky. But that's massive, and there's going to be a lot of vehicles with these still fitted in them, so beware of that. Make sure you're checking your oil pickups. Get your injectors out and reseat them as an absolute minimum, or hit us up for a set of injectors, whatever you prefer. Trying to help you here. Anyway, we'll finish pulling this apart and we'll see what's in there, and we'll hit you up in another video and show you what we found. As exciting as it always will be. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn the bell on. More videos coming your way soon. Thanks for watching, guys.